If you don't use it, you lose it. Neurons that fire together wire together. And more importantly, neurons that no longer fire together no longer wire together. You've literally built a new neurological network in your brain. And so they do all that work and then I don't need to do that anymore. And that is the point where they start to go back to the old self. Those old neurological networks are like motorways in the mind.
Just a little message from me. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. You'll help me and other people so much by subscribing to the channel, because the episodes and the guests will be reached by so many other people. Thank you so much for your help. All right, let's go to the next question. It's about losing progress. So, one viewer shared, I stopped doing the work for a while and later found myself back in old patterns. So, can we lose our progress, Lindsay?
Yes, you can. If you don't use it, you lose it. It's we teach this in the program. You know, it's Hebbian law. Donald Hebb was a Canadian psychologist in the 1949. He wrote a very prominent book, and one of those concepts was around neurons that fire together, wire together, and more importantly, neurons that no longer fire together, no longer wire together. So you've labored for yourself, you've fired and wired, you've literally built a new neurological network in your brain. You've said, I'm not going to think, act, and feel this way. I'm not going to do that anymore. My new self is going to think, act, and feel this way, and I'm going to practice it. I'm going to practice it over and over until I become it, until I am that person. And so they do all that work and then I don't need to do that anymore. And that is the point where they start to go back to the old self, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because those old neurological networks are like motorways in the mind. They've been there for a very long time, so they're locked in. The new version has got the neurological connections, but they're not fired and wired so often and so long that they've become so hardwired, right? And it is the consistent daily practice of how you're going to think, act, and feel that maintains the progress and continues the progress. And so often I hear people saying, well, I did it, so I stopped. And that seems to me like really confusing that somebody would do that. And I know that it seems to make sort of common sense, but when you look at the work, it doesn't. Because what you're saying is, I did all these things because I found the secret of how to become this version of myself and to have what I want in my life. And it worked. And then I just stopped.
Mm-hmm.
I, it doesn't make sense to me that somebody would stop something that works. It's like saying, you know, I eat really healthy foods and it gives me life and I'm vibrant. And then I'm going to eat something that's toxic. I'm just going to stop eating healthy food, right? Then it's chemistry. Your body's going to change. Why? Because when you're practicing, when you're creating and you're having these new thoughts, you know this, your neocortex, your first brain, that walnut part shape of your brain, those thoughts make a chemical faster than the speed of light in the limbic brain, the second brain, the emotional brain, the chemical brain, that makes the exact batch of neuropeptides that flood the body to feel the feeling. I mean, this is the intelligence of the body is exquisite. We are so amazing. And then what we do is we stop all of that and we go back to a default mode
Mm-hmm.
where things didn't work. And so if somebody's stopped, I would encourage them to restart their daily practice. And then rather than stop it, evolve it, right?
Yeah.
So I've got to where I want to be. What is that next evolution? What is the next evolution of me? And to consciously create your state of being.
Just a little message from me. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. You'll help me and other people so much by subscribing to the channel, because the episodes and the guests will be reached by so many other people. Thank you so much for your help. So, can actually a setback become part of growth? Like you see this a lot with athletes, right? So, athletes that have big injuries that are out of the court, the tennis players, for example, for 6 months, 1 year, or like I give you my own example. I'm not an athlete myself, but I've been a runner for 10 years. Every week, 2 to 3 times minimum, I was running. Since October, I did not run because I got a herniated disc, and
Mhm.
I'm still recovering. I still did not really run as a runner, but I'm really planning to run. And sometimes you hear from athletes, once they get back from an injury, they even become more and more stronger. So how can we deal with this if we are going to start today again from maybe not practicing for 6 months, 1 year, a meditation or running or anything we practice? How do we go back there?
It's a choice. You know, we teach this. It's like the most important thing that you can do, the river of change, right? What's the most prominent, important part of changing in that river of change that you're about to enter into is not to make the same choice that you did yesterday. That's it, right there. So the choice of, oh, well, I stopped, well, then that choice can't be an option today. And the
Hmm.
contrast of seeing what happened when you stopped once should be enough, right? It should be enough. Like, why would you want to do that again? Then that must, if you did do it again, not you, or I'm talking you plural, as in people, if somebody was to do that again and again, then it's a program. There's something, there's a thought and a feeling that's running in the body, a thinking and feeling loop where the body is being the mind. The body's like, I think you've done enough now. Look, you're doing great. Let's go back to who we were before. But that's not what you hear. You hear the voice that says, oh, great, that's we've done that. We don't need to do that anymore. And then
Hmm.
the old neurological networks that are hardwired are more easily able to come into play. And then there you go, those old thoughts that make the old neuro batches of neurotransmitters and neuropeptides, the old feelings that you go, well, this just feels right. No, it
Hmm.
doesn't feel right. It feels comfortable. It's
Yeah.
all.
So I want to give actually one more example around that. So I used to teach for a long time kids, and in the school where I was working, the last school, we had two staircases on the right and on the other side of the building. And then all of a sudden we had to use the other side. But the first, including myself, the kids were like, okay, take your jackets, and we're going from this staircase because we have been using that for years, right? And then it was no, no, because that's closed. We're gonna go that way. So each time we went that way, that way, that way, and even from downstairs going up, we were trying to go to the first one, initial one that we're always using. But then someday, one moment, it clicks. You don't go to that staircase anymore because you have practiced enough again and again to use the other staircase. That becomes your normal.
Right. It just becomes like, and the body is conditioned and the body turns that way, right? You just, off you go. And, I like that you use the example of running. And an injury is different. You need to rest your body. You need to allow it to heal. It would make no sense to keep trying to run a little bit every day if you had to heal a part of your body. Um, and so it's a great example from a physical perspective. And there is, I can't think of any reason why someone couldn't mentally rehearse who they want to be. And more importantly, who do you no longer want to be? And that's you know, change is not sexy. People don't go, guess what? I'm doing today, I'm changing. And it's going to be a great day for changing. They don't. Nobody does that. It's like it's just a thing, right? Um, And so they need the goal, they need the relationship, they need the house, they need to know who they are. And when you start, I mean, if I was this person that asked the question about all the things that they created and there was just not this one thing, I would say, I would say, wow, I would put all of my attention on all of the things that I did create, and I'd take a good, long, beautiful trip down memory lane. Like, what did I think? And what did I come up against? And what did I overcome? And I would celebrate myself. And all of those things, one by one, I'd take a long moment, right? To write down, wow, I was thinking this, and then I came up against myself with this thing, and then I kept going, and this is how I thought. These are the choices I made. This is how I acted and behaved. These were the experiences I had. These were the feelings, and I kept going anyway. And then, boom, I created it. In that moment of reflection, there is a signature of creation that is repeatable. Not to the exact letter, but there's a pattern that can, and I would look at every single one because success leaves clues, right? And
Hmm.
it's like your own little signature for success that you do, and then have enough room to leave room open for more, which is the unknown, right? Because if you get so um, attached and locked into it, there's no room for the unknown. And of course, that's where true creation exists.
In the unknown.
It is in the sweet spot of the generous present moment.
Thank you so much, Lindsay. This was amazing. Thanks for your time. For everyone that is watching this on YouTube or listening it on any podcast channel, you can find Lindsay through Neuro Solutions. Can you just say the website, please?
I
So
will.
where can
Newchangesolutions.com. You can click on contact us and we'll answer your questions. They'll get to me. I also want to take a moment to thank Dr. Joe Dispenza because without him and the decades of his work, how diligently he applies this to himself and his life and shares it with the world, none of this would be possible. So let's take a moment of thanks and gratitude for him.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Joe Dispenza. Really, really amazing. Appreciate everything what you also taught me and the community here. So, for thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your questions, for your comments. We really, really appreciate it, and hopefully, this gave you some insights on really doing the work, on really doing the work and transforming. Have a great day, all. Thank you so much, Lindsay.
It's been an honor and a privilege. I'm so grateful to connect with you again. And thank you for everything you're doing in the world. Just superb.
I'll see you in Copenhagen.
Yes, you will.